Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me this week I have Ben.
Hello.
And Eddie.
Hello.
That's better, Eddie. Good energy to counter Ben being sick with the plague. Love that.
Yeah, well, I've got a bit of plague, a spot of plague.
Yeah, a requiem
what do
of
you
plague.
want from me? Yeah, but I'm still here. Unlike
You guys are
someone
such
else.
sickly people, aren't you? You're just like... Pete, you're always sick, and Ben, you were sick the week before as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I know. My body's a fucking fortress, but I let the old drawbridge down.
No one said that.
They did.
If
They
your
always said
it's
that
a
about me.
fortress, then it's a fucking French fortress waving a white flag all the time, right?
No. Any French listeners, don't be offended by that. The drawbridge is down. The drawbridge is down.
Well,
The gates are wide open. It's a fortress it's a fortress that was knocked down 150 years ago and is now a visitor museum, but it still looks like a fortress.
Yeah.
Did you just say Ben's body looks really good? Is that what you just said there?
I'm playing to what Ben wants to believe. But you are right, you are still here, unlike the usual fourth. Unfortunately, Kirk being unable to join us.
That's fine. I took a week off, so I can't complain.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while since we've had the four of us here because you were off last week, Eddie. So, yeah.
We're
Three Musketeers this week.
Yes, although not totally, Ben, because on Sunday we are 5 Musketeers? 6?
Oh, we are
hopefully
6 Musketeers.
Oh, yeah.
That would be
on
the
Sunday.
Yeah, because we are going to be doing a live episode with the Offshore Gamescast team. So that is Sunday around about...
we think it's about 1 p.m. We're currently confirming with Dave and Dylan, so it's this weekend sometime. So let's just say that
it's a Sunday. It better be a Sunday because I blocked off Sunday. So
yeah, same here.
so hopefully Sunday. But yeah, I think just it is going to be live technically because we're going to be using the I think it's StreamYard to stream to YouTube. So we will be on YouTube. So follow us on Twitter or go to our Grumpy Gamers podcast YouTube channel and subscribe and get the notifications there. And then we'll let you know over the next few days.
Yes, indeed.
When we're going to be live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that follows on, of course, from last Thursday, Ben, when you were 1 Musketeer.
Oh, yes, I completed Sifu.
You did very quickly.
Very quickly. I wasn't anticipating it. Like, the stream kind of just ended because I was like, well, done it now. I expected there to be a whole nother level. So, that would have timed out quite nicely. Done 3 levels the first week, 3 levels the second week, but then it just kind of was over.
It was a very abrupt ending to a good stream, though. So
yeah, which I apologise for. So sorry for the abrupt ending. But we're going to be you guys are going to be streaming this Thursday, aren't you?
We are, yes. Yeah, we're going to be playing Rocket League.
That's going to be playing Rocket League with the community. Yeah. So if you want to play Rocket League with Pete, Eddie, and Kirk, then contact us on Twitter, I think, because Kirk will be sorting out everyone getting in the same party and lobby and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, indeed.
So that's Thursday at 7 p.m. So
that's going to be a fucking nightmare. I'm telling you, if we're relying on Kirk to sort out all the party system and stuff, oh my God.
Yeah, Eddie, you might have to step in a little bit, mate.
Oh, don't! Come on, I'm not an organizer.
We're giving you responsibility.
I'm an angry, kind of emotive man. That's my role. That's my role for the podcast.
You're gonna have to change the role, though. You're gonna have to change roles,
or just get angry about organising it.
Yes,
but still
I can just get angry at Kirk. I guess that's why most of our listeners listen. So.
Right, anyway, that's Thursday, 7 p.m. Like every week now, we're going to try to do streaming at Thursday, 7 p.m. And our Twitch channel is Grumpy Gamers Podcast, all one word. Yeah. So come and follow us there. And yeah, Twitter, there'll be notifications on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. So if you want to get involved, let us know on Twitter.
Yes, indeed. And please be worse than me, because otherwise it's going to be really embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, no, Pete, you can't have that. Like,
I know. I hate that you ducked out, because I know I'm better than you.
You don't know. You don't know, because I was. Well, we're about the same standard.
Ooh, that's harsh.
That is cold.
On me.
But
It's harsh on me, isn't it? That's what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, I've got to have a week off, guys. I'll be streaming the next week.
Exactly. So in that, it is fair enough. But
yeah.
Either way, those are the upcoming things, and I suppose we should talk about the upcoming topic, shouldn't we?
Cool.
Absolutely.
So, of course, we will be going through the news and the new releases. We've got a bit of what we've been playing, which I think the only new one is you, Ben, isn't it, with Achilles Untold this week?
Yeah, I think it is the only new game, but Eddie's got a good one to talk about.
He does, yeah. And I have one that was recently released, even though it's not new news. So we've got those, and then our feature this week is a recap on the Nintendo Indie Showcase from the end of last week.
Yes.
Yeah. And what we thought of it. But we'll get to that later.
What a showcase it was.
Sure, yeah.
No comment.
Yeah, but before we get to that, should we get into the news?
Yeah, and we have quick news. I mean, it was a big news week, I'd say. But to get these quick ones out the way, so Jedi Fallen Order has a sequel. It's just been revealed, and it's called Star Wars Jedi Survivor. There we go. And yesterday, we're recording on Tuesday this week, actually. So yesterday, on Monday, there was a Fall Guys video on YouTube with the developers and stuff, and they revealed that it's going free to play in June and coming to Switch and Xbox at the same time.
Yes, indeed.
Cool.
Which is fucking good, because it's coming to Switch. I want to play it on Switch, and now it's free to play. That's ideal. I think they're on season 8 or something crazy like that. I just feel like they may have missed the boat, and that's the...
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a great tactic to do them both at the same time, though, eh? At least it's almost like they're trying to do a second wave, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and I think that the move to free-to-play is the best thing for them, because I think they've probably lost their time of being able to charge money for that now.
Yeah.
I
think this is their second wave, and then if this falls flat, they'll just accept it.
Yeah, good luck to them. I think it does have a decent following, so I will be playing it.
This?
Yeah. Say that again?
Do you remember that phase when every streamer in the world was playing Fall Guys?
I still see videos come up on my bloody feed now and again. Days.
But guys, guess what I'll be streaming?
Go on.
Fall Guys.
He didn't need to say that, Pete. I mean, he wasn't going to come up with fucking Jedi Fallen Order, was he? Fuck.
Right. Okay, let's move on. That news wasn't so quick. So, quick news number 3 is there have been Silent Hill leaks. Right, I didn't make any notes about this, so I'll just have to go from memory. So, Silent Hill... There's a rumour that there's going to be Silent Hill 2 remake by Blooper Team, who made The Medium, which I thought was quite good. And there's also a rumour that there's a new Silent Hill game altogether coming, like as a latest one in the franchise. But there were screenshots kind of released of or leaked of one of these Silent Hill games, and I don't think many people really believed it until Konami decided to copyright strike them. So if you don't want somebody to believe something, definitely don't go copyright striking them. So yeah, it appears like the Silent Hill rumours that have been going for pretty much the last couple of years. I mean, I think Eurogamer even quote Nate the Hate, who I have said before, probably like a year and a half ago, who's talking about these. So... yeah, it seems real. We don't know what games are in development, but it seems like there could be a couple of Silent Hill games. So if you're old school Silent Hill fans, look forward to that one.
Yes, indeed.
So I'll move on to the main news now.
I was going to say, should we do the big news?
yeah, the big discussion topic of the week. Unfortunately, Starfield and Redfall have been delayed into 2023. The first half of 2023, just any time during that time. So these were Xbox's big releases. Redfall was due to come out in like a month or two, something like that, which is the vampire co-op shooter one. From Bethesda. Both of these games from Bethesda, and Starfield, obviously the big kind of holiday Christmas release expected in November. That was Skyrim in space. That's both delayed. So Bethesda have been quoted as saying the teams at Arcane Austin, that's Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studios, and that's Starfield, have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of the game. So it was just a quick kind of press release, and with that they were gone. And this could leave Microsoft with around 18 months between Xbox Game Studios releases, despite having well over, I think about 23, well over 20 studios. And there will be no Xbox Game Studio releases in 2022. Obviously, we had Forza, and Halo at the back end of last year, but nothing in 2022. And Phil Spencer has come out and said they must do better to meet expectations, but he has come under a lot of fire for lack of leadership and lack of plan Bs, which I'm not sure is entirely warranted because they only bought Bethesda last March.
Yeah.
And anything that they acquired was already, Bethesda were already going to announce that. Like the whole November release date, 2022, that was already in the works before Microsoft even got involved. It's probably a bit harsh to be laying the blame at Phil Spencer. Now, this is disappointing, and we will do the obligatory virtue signal and say it's good that people don't have to crunch, and games will be released in better quality if they have more time. Blah 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 blah, which is true. But this is still very, very disappointing. I really don't understand all the people out there saying, "Oh, it's okay. Like it's fine. Like we can wait. There's so much to be playing during this time. Like why don't you guys just look at your backlog?" Yeah,
was that an impression of Kirk? Being
Kirk could be one of those guys. I don't know. but people are saying that, and I just think, that's very true. But we're disappointed. We like new things, and especially Starfield. It was promised so much. I mean, and I just don't understand what's going on with Xbox, and I think a lot of people start to question this. Games get delayed. That's absolutely fine. This happens. But Nintendo and Sony have also operated under a pandemic, and they have released games. Xbox have had studios for many, many years now, and Xbox have had this reputation of Xbox doesn't have games. And this is why. This is why they have that reputation. And, other games have been delayed, like Breath of the Wild 2. But Breath of the Wild 2 never had a release date. Starfield had a release date. Yeah. Don't say a release date so far in advance. If it's just, I don't. They're their own worst enemy, I think. But what do we think? What do you guys think about this and Game Pass now? Because Game Pass, a lot of the value in Game Pass is Xbox own studios day one releases.
Well, it's an interesting one because first Told You So. I think I said back in like fucking February that this would be delayed to next year.
And Kirk did that on Twitter as well and got absolutely blasted for it and took great delight, and rightly so. I was well behind Kirk this week when he went out on Twitter and said, "Look, I said it." And you all said, it was a couple of people said, like, what are you talking about? Like, they've got no history for this. But it's one of those that you could say you could predict, but they were so sure, weren't they?
Oh, so many people were so certain about it. But no, it was obviously getting delayed. All the big games are getting delayed. So, I mean, I don't find it surprising. And while I do get the disappointment, because I do really want to play Starfield, I am kind of in a place of going, well, just don't look forward to things. Just wait till they get here. Like, you know what I mean? At this stage, that feels like the better way to go with it. But that might be because I obsessively play the same 6 games. So
I do know what you mean, though, because even when a good game that you've been looking forward to comes out, it's always a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, it's always buggy, or there's always something wrong with it, or if it's a release for something you've been playing before, like a DLC, Eddie, for RimWorld's sake. It messes with your mods. Like, new things always have a problem linked to them, so it's never the day you think it's going to be that you get to enjoy it the way you wanted to anyway.
I've never had that problem because I've never bought a game at full price, apart from the fucking games you make me buy, which I'm massively disappointed with. So, I never need to actually worry about that.
The point of this one is, it was coming to Game Pass. You've already got Game Pass. And now, Xbox Studios will not have released a game in 18 months. And they've got 23 fucking studios.
Well, it might only be 13 months, Ben. They might get it out in January. You don't know.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
Somewhere, you're right. Somewhere over a year. Somewhere above a year between them.
I'm trying to be emotive here. 18 goddamn months.
2 years on a calendar.
But how much, in your opinion, guys, like, how much do you think of Game Pass's value is in Xbox's first party releases coming day one, like Halo, etc.?
I'm going to be controversial here. Don't get me wrong. I'm really, really upset that Starfield is delayed. I think I honestly like through their history of games being, probably 3 of them in my top 10, and this one in space, which I love. Love a lot of space games. As you know, last time I was on the pod, I talked about a space game. Really excited for it, but I don't have Game Pass for the moments where it's first game released. I have it for this game has now just popped on, and it's I do play a lot of indie games, so that's probably why. But there's so many things. The game that I played this week just popped on Game Pass, and I went, holy shit, that's on Game Pass. There's a game that came on today, Jurassic World 2 Evolution, or whatever it's called.
Yep.
That came on Xbox today, on Game Pass, on PC Game Pass, I should say.
Yeah.
So, boom, gonna install that. I've had that on my wish list for fucking about a year, whenever it came out, I guess. And I looked it up before the podcast, it's still 50 quid, so that saved me 50 quid. So that's why I have Game Pass. So I'm not gonna... I'm upset, but I'm not gonna go mental.
Yeah, this is similar. I mean, we're similar in the way we approach games quite a lot in purchasing them, Eddie. So for me, most of my value in Game Pass has been those little ones that I wouldn't even have tried if I had to buy them. Yes. Things like The Artful Escape last year. That was an amazing little game. And I'd never even have considered it unless it was on like the Steam Christmas sale at 50p. So it's exposure to that sort of stuff, as well as having a catalogue of games that I want to play, AAA games that I want to play, is the key. Having the day one releases is a lovely addition, don't get me wrong. Being able to play Halo Infinite end of last year, we played that pretty much every day for a month, didn't we, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then longer onwards. So obviously that's a big benefit, but I can't say it's the reason I have the subscription.
No, I actually, despite what I was saying before, to try and be emotive and stuff, I am disappointed that Starfield's been delayed, but, outside of this podcast, I can't say that my levels of disappointment will be anything that I think about for more than a moment. But, it's disappointing. It'll come, it'll happen. But a lot of people are saying that that this highlights the weakness in Game Pass if Xbox Game Studios can't deliver. But I actually think the opposite, and I think I'm kind of probably thinking the same things as you guys, that I think this highlights the strength of Game Pass. I think it actually says... The thing about Game Pass is when things are going wrong, when there are game releases getting delayed, when the big releases aren't hitting, you've got this catalogue of awesome games from days just gone that's still awesome. And I think this is where Game Pass kind of shows its strength, because it's still got a lot of value even though you don't get those releases. And you know what Xbox also do? They go out and they get big third-party games as day one games. Yes. So I really wouldn't be surprised if in their equivalent E3 showcase that happens, the one that's happening next month anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if they just come out with, we're getting this day one and this day one to make up that second half of the year lineup.
Yeah.
These third-party games that that may be coming to PlayStation as well, but they're getting it day one to Game Pass. So the Game Pass mechanism is still very, very strong, and therefore can kind of prop up when their studios do have to delay.
Yeah. And so for me, though, the question this asks, like we're talking about 2 Bethesda games that have been delayed. And what, there are 19 game studios? 23.
I thought there were 23. I thought there were 23, but...
Yeah, 23.
Right, they are. Okay.
Yeah. Now, one of those is Obsidian. Where the hell is Avowed? Like...
Yeah, well, if we don't see some of Avowed at the showcase next month, then I'd be really worried, because we haven't seen much of Avowed from that initial trailer that looked so Skyrim.
Yeah.
It looked so like Elder Scrolls, and you're like, oh, wow. Obsidian with an Elder Scrolls type. Oh, this is great. I don't know. Like, we need to see more of that, don't we? Because it could be awesome. It looked awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, where's State of Decay 3? Like, Undead Labs is in this.
Oh, that got delayed.
Fucking hell.
Didn't it? They announced
It definitely got delayed. But the thing is,
That's in
it's
trouble.
not
That's
all on
in
Bethesda.
real trouble development.
Yes.
Real trouble development.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. Yeah.
But
I
if Kirk was here, he'd be saying, "Where's Forza Motorsport?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's another
definitely
big one.
would. But this is the thing. It's not all on Bethesda, and it's not all on Phil Spencer. You've got to be asking, what are these studios doing other than having massive issues, clearly?
And I think it's harsh to criticise Phil Spencer too much because, we're not privy to the plan B.
Yeah.
We're only privy to plan A falling over. So we don't know what's going on in the background. For all we know, some massive third-party game is going to come on Game Pass in replacing Redfall now. Who knows?
Exactly.
So you just, I think I have a little bit more faith in Xbox now, because their Game Pass model has proven that they are serious and they will spend money on this.
Well,
and what it does mean is when they start delivering, they're going to get game on game on game on game. I imagine.
You would think there's another packed month coming up at some point, wouldn't you?
I would think so.
Potentially. But I suppose the reason there's been such a sort of backlash to this is the other news that was revealed, wasn't it? Or further information as opposed to news.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this, of course, is PlayStation's PS Plus Game Pass equivalent lineup being revealed last week. So, what, we're a week away, roughly, from the initial launch?
Yes, from the Asian launch.
From the Asian launch, yeah, which is the 24th of May. Japan then get it about a week later. And then I think the Americas 10 days after that, June the 13th. And then we get it pretty much a month from now, on the 23rd of June. So, yeah, it's getting a lot closer, but the initial release is next week in Asia. And because of that, they've given a huge, huge list of the games that are going to be involved. And it is quite impressive, isn't it? I mean,
very impressive.
It's pretty much every single one of their games except Last of Us 2, as you said to me yesterday, Ben.
Yeah.
So what we've got?
It's pretty big.
Exactly, yeah. So what we've got: Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Control Ultimate Edition, Guardians of the Galaxy is coming on there. Apparently at the exact same time it's coming on Game Pass. Which is interesting. Red Dead Redemption 2, God of War.
It's already on Game Pass.
Is it already?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's already on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then obviously indies like Celeste, Dead Cells, Hollow Knight and Outer Wilds are joining it as well. So, I mean, I'd encourage anyone to have a look at this, because there are a lot of games.
It's massive. I mean, like they're big games of recent times. You've got Days Gone, Returnal, Death Stranding, Demon's Souls, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon. It's massive. They haven't obviously got the new Horizon, because that's so what they're not doing is day one big releases, but they have got like God of War and all that kind of stuff. Like they have pulled out quite a few stops here, and they've got that Ubisoft Plus lineup.
That was the next thing to cover. Yeah, Ubisoft Plus, or Classics, is being bundled with extra and premium versions of the PS Plus subscription. Yeah. So, I mean, what is it? It's something like 50 games this year? Or 50?
I can finally pay Far Cry 3, Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, this is where Assassin's Creed Valhalla comes in, as well as Watch Dogs, Far Cry 4, Children of Light and Steep. There's initial 27 games going to more than 50 by the end of 2022.
Yeah.
So this is just coming into the two upper levels of the tiering as well, isn't it? It's just added.
Yes, yeah, and that top tier, that's where the streaming part is, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, that's premium. Yeah.
So the premium tier, the most expensive, they get streaming of some PS3 and PS Vita games. Is that it?
I believe so.
And that for me, they don't appeal as much, but some people will love that. And I don't really like streaming games. I do on handheld. I do use Game Pass for that. But see how that fares. But I think even on that second tier, like the second to top tier, you're just getting so many games. I mean, and it's actually, it's just so weird. Like a couple of weeks ago, we're talking about Xbox making acquisitions, blah, 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 and it all going really, really, really well. You've got these big releases coming out. Xbox, they're making great sales. They're outselling PlayStation in Europe and all this kind of stuff. And now you get these delays, and you get PlayStation go, oh yeah, there's our Game Pass.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I think it's a tricky one because a lot of PlayStation players are going to have bought all these games, yeah? Or at least a good amount of them. But what you think of is if someone's having to make that decision between an Xbox or a PlayStation and a subscription service attached, as we've talked about before, now you've got this list and you've heard Xbox are delaying this, that's suddenly a really tough question.
It closes that gap. So the conversation in the game store, which I don't know who's buying one in a game store, but let's just imagine the situation. I'm in the game store and I'm saying, oh, which console should I buy? And the person there's going, oh, well, this one comes with Game Pass. Oh, and that's got loads of games. Oh, right, fine. Maybe I will go for an Xbox this time. That no longer is the associated conversation, is it? Like PlayStation genuinely have something that can give you a lot of games. Yeah. Like especially if you're buying a system for the first time and you're choosing, you wouldn't have Returnal, Ghosts, Demon Souls, all that. You won't have all of those. Yeah. And it's like the first Last of Us on there. And I know a lot of these games either come with the PS5, PS Plus stuff, like God of War, but the fact that like Ghost of Tsushima, so I don't like samurai games, but I have always been interested in that. And I would have, if I'd seen it for 20 quid, yeah, maybe I'd buy it. So there is value in this for me, even on the top tier games, and I buy every fucking game.
Yeah. I always want to do this, Ben, but can I just point out that for someone who spends a lot of time playing Souls games and almost exclusively uses a katana of some kind, I really don't get your dislike of samurai.
No, because I use a katana in basically every... I even use one in Elden Ring. I use dual katanas. Yeah, I use a katana basically in every Souls game, yeah.
Oh.
And their moveset are pretty much samurai moves, but he doesn't like samurai.
Don't know. It's the setting. I don't know. Just don't get it. Don't get it. Not for me. Trek to Yobi was shit.
But beautiful. So yeah, fair enough.
Beautiful shit.
Yes, yeah. But that's it.
The definition of polishing a turd.
Wow. that's a strong comment, but nice. Didn't expect that to come from my question, but okay. Moving forward. But yeah, I think it is where we've got that balance now is that for a new user, it's anyone's game.
Yeah. I think these couple of weeks could have just turned it back in the Sony tide, hasn't it? It's just changed the tides a little bit, you know. Yeah. But anyway, there we go.
All right, I'll go next.
That's your cue, Eddie. Yeah,
you're the only one left.
Microsoft's comeback to all that shit that you've talked about. Microsoft has plans for an Xbox Series S external disk drive. Finally, the thing we've all been wanting. So this is from Tech Radar. A new patent suggests Microsoft is designing a system that would allow the Xbox Series S to play physical game discs. Although Microsoft hasn't confirmed the product, the speculative system would enable owners of the digital-only console to convert their physical games into downloadable copies. As spotted by Game Rant, the patent describes a system that will validate your ownership of a physical game before granting you access to its digital version to download online. I'm going to stop reading there before I get accused of going full read mode.
You definitely did.
Oh, that wasn't full read mode. I even stopped halfway through the second... You know what, fine. I'm really excited about this personally. I have an Xbox Series S. I traded in a lot of my games, but I think I've got like 12 or so games that I kept either because they were worth less than 50p, or I've loved them so much that I thought, just keep them around, because you'll find them in 40 years' time and love it. So I'm over the moon about this. I mean, for example, this week I looked up, while in a bit of game limbo, I looked up Ghost Recon Wildlands. I found the disc, but obviously I can't fucking play it. So this is great news for me, personally. Also, it means I can go to the old CEX and buy games and whatnot. So it's probably going to save me a bit of money as well. What do you guys? Are you excited about this?
Well, it depends, if it costs you money to do so.
The key thing here is if you add up the price of a Series S and a disc drive, I'm pretty sure it's going to come to a Series X.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought on this as well.
Dear.
And I mean, it smacks of that sort of like late edition, because you might be able to get some extra money off people who want to play the old games.
Yeah, just before physical games kind of go a little bit out of fashion, and it does give people access to the digital, to the second-hand market. So what would be great is if you were bought this as a present.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, that would be lovely. That would be lovely. But to spend your own money on it might be a bit. You might as well trade in your Series S and then get an X.
Yeah.
Can you do that? How much do you reckon that will cost? That's an idea.
I think a Series X is still like 450 quid. So...
Yeah, so it's not an option. Brilliant. Right.
No, but my point is with this disc drive, it's probably going to be like 200 quid, right?
No, Jesus. Do you reckon?
I don't know, man. I think it could be somewhere between 100 and 200.
Yeah, because it's going to be like a specialist, because you can't plug in a disc drive to your S now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a specialist one. It's a captive market. It's a captive product. It doesn't even fucking play the disc. It just allows you to read that thing to say you own it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like yeah. If it's 50 quid, you go, yeah, okay. That's great. But I can't imagine Microsoft doing something like that.
I could see them doing that. But I don't think that is what they're going to do.
I'm going to say 100 quid. There you go. I've put my bet down.
Oh, you've got right in the middle of where it's on the cusp
I was going to
of
go
being
80,
worthwhile.
but then I was like, well, we are talking about Microsoft, so I've gone for a safe 100. All right, I'll take a risk. 80 quid. Bam. There.
If they did it for 80 quid, then I could see a lot of people going for that. But I think a little bit more expensive than that, and you go down the rabbit hole of
yes,
I'm getting something that's like an X, but graphically isn't as good and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I reckon it's going to be in that rabbit hole, if I'm honest. But it is a wait and see. That is a wait and see.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. And with that,
and that's the news.
Yeah, I think we're on to the new releases.
All right, cool. Really
strong week, right?
Packed week this week.
Oh, big
back,
week.
Relax. I don't know how I'm going to pick my favourite out of these absolute fucking gems, all right? So just
Worldies.
just sit back and enjoy. First one, Cotton Fantasy, coming out PlayStation 4, Switch, May 20th. Cotton Fantasy, known as Cotton Rock and Roll in Japan, is a brand new entry in the Cotton series that sees Cotton and Silk embark on adventure, this time in HD graphics and with modernised gameplay, but true to its roots. First of all, I prefer the Japanese name, Cotton Rock and Roll. I think that sounds quite cool, doesn't it?
Much better,
Yeah, this is like a 2D arcade style. So to our listeners who are 100 years old like me, it looks like Wings of War that you could play on the Sega Mega Drive. That was a fucking game and a half. It's got the same mechanics, but this is clearly aimed at what I can imagine as Japanese children, as in young children, because, this is, it looks bad. What do you guys think?
No, I'm with you on it looks bad. I honestly couldn't find many redeeming features with this one when I saw it.
It was tough, wasn't it? Especially when it was so in your face. It was tough to even watch, to be honest.
So when I saw this game as the first one, then I just scanned down the list to see if I recognised any names of any other games. I was like, "Oh, we're in for a week."
It's such a bad game that it makes you doubt the rest of the week. That's how bad this game is.
Yeah.
Spoilers though, Ben. Spoilers. Come on now. We need to.
Sorry, we could be in for worldies, absolute worldies.
Right, so spoilers. That's my favourite game this week. No, The Endless Summer: The Search for Surf, coming out on PC and Xboxes, May 20th. Open world, 2-player. 3D surfing physics game. Learn to surf, explore the islands by land or jet ski, find new surf spots, challenge your friends to a contest.
God.
The animations and the general look of this game are awful. And I mean awful. I mean, I reckon like someone has knocked this up in an afternoon. It just looks horrendous. There are so many, like the gameplay I've seen, it's buggy, it's glitchy, like sometimes you just would fall through the floor. It's honestly like someone's gone, oh, your assignment's due in tomorrow. Oh, what is it? Oh, I've got to make a game. And they've just quickly done it and thrown it in.
It looks like one of those games that you play on a website that would have slime football.
Yes, I tell you though, what actually got me. So this week I've been playing Surviving Mars, and obviously on that you're looking down at it from on high, down on your colony, and if you zoom right in, you can see the little animated figures doing their things. And this game looks like those tiny animated figures that you look at for 5 seconds in a 30-hour playthrough. That's the level they've gone to with it, and the animations are pretty similar.
They saw Surviving Mars and went, "We can do that."
Yeah, we can do the zoomed in without any of the detail.
I think the reason why people play Surviving Mars is to watch the tiny little people do their actions. Let's make a game, boys.
You don't know. We need a poll on that. We don't know.
Right, yeah, fuck me.
Jesus.
Right, moving on to Soda Crisis, coming out on PC May 24th. Soda Crisis is a fast-paced, side-scrolling shooter game. You play a mysterious character of unknown origin, equipped with advanced high-tech gears and fierce combating skills. Definitely the chosen one for his rescue mission. The visuals, atmosphere, music, and sound effects do seem really good. I'm not into these type of games, but I think for what they've done is really good. Actually, what do you guys think?
I think it looks I think it looks excellent.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Despite saying that it's a terrible week, this one called Soda Crisis, and
the one with the worst name.
PC. Yeah, terrible name, and only on PC.
Yeah,
it looks bloody good actually as a side-scrolling kind of like shooter. It looks very Devolver Digital, doesn't it? It looks like it's real high polish, good graphics, real poppy. Looks lovely.
Yeah, it's an odd one though, because I remember this one on being mentioned on Steam ages ago, and the fact that it had setbacks in development and stuff. So interested to see when they actually intended to release it, and then the fact that it's come along now looking this good. It's like, yeah, suggests they've recovered well.
It does. Honestly, I like when I was listening to the music and listening to the sound effects, I was like, fucking hell, this is like a proper game, you know?
Yeah.
And you don't think about that about a little developer on a PC release only. But there is a demo as well, so if you are interested in it, then you can download a demo for free on Steam.
There's a demo.
Next one, My Time at Sandrock, coming out on PC May 26th. Travel to the desert. I was going to say desert community. That is a place I want to live. Travel to the desert community of Sandrock and take on the role of fledgling builder. Use your trusty tool set to gather resources, construct machines, and turn your rundown workshop into a well-oiled production facility to save the town from the jaws of economic ruin. When I read this blurb, I got really excited, and then I typed it in, and was I let down. This looks like a little cartoon house builder, but it does have like mini games as well, so you can do like races, and there's some combat mechanics. There's like the dancing mini games that we've seen in other games recently, and things like that. If it's your type of game, this could be quite fun. But to me, it looks like a pile of crap.
So I didn't quite clock this when I was looking at it earlier. I thought similarly to you, Eddie. So, thought similarly. And the same with the if it's your type of game kind of thing. But this is actually a continuation of My Time at Portia, which is actually a very successful game. And it was on Game Pass for some time. It's been on Switch. And, just really successful kind of farming town builder type sim. And it came out just after Animal Crossing, I think. My Time at Portia. This was, I think, supposed to be a DLC, and it's actually just got a full kind of mainline sequel release. So if you liked My Time at Portia, then this could be for you.
There you go. Anything to add, Pete?
No, nothing at all. Covered it well. Wouldn't touch this game with a barge pole.
There we go. I needed an opinion. I got one. Last one, Sniper Elite 5, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, May 26th. It's also coming to Game Pass Day 1. The award-winning series returns as Carl Fairburn fights to uncover Project Kraken in 1944 France. The genre-defining authentic sniping with enhanced kill cam has never looked or felt better as you fight across immersive maps to stop the Nazi war machine in its tracks. They love going down the Nazi route in these Sniper Elite games.
Really do, yeah.
Really like that. This is, if you've never played one of these, it's like a sniper story game. I've always been interested in these because the gameplay, the amount of times these kind of clips come across my gaming reels that I watch, and it always looks like good fun. I love like sneaking and I love sniping. But these games to me all seem one-dimensional. I have looked into this and you can customise your gun, which you guys know very well. I'm quite I enjoy doing it.
Oh yeah, what did he do one time to a gun and played 74 hours or something?
Yeah, Freeman Guerrilla Warfare. You could change like a bits of your gun. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have a scope and
so
game. 70 hours went into it, yeah.
Didn't get out of level 1. 74 hours of changing his gun.
Oh, that was great fun.
Ridiculous. They complained about the game not being good enough. 74 hours. What the fuck? How many hours do you want?
Sorry.
Anyway.
Are any of you guys gonna? You know what? Because it's coming to Game Pass. Because it's coming to Game Pass, I reckon I'll actually play this because it's one of those games I've always wanted to play, but there's always been a medium price tag on it, which has made me go, I'm probably not going to play it for that many hours though. So, are you guys excited, or you don't care?
I could play this because we're in that kind of lull of games at the moment, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
I could definitely give this a go. And I hate to point out, but there've been 4 previous Sniper Elites.
I knew that was going to come up. My God.
This is bound to be good.
Yeah.
It's bound to be good.
The only issue I always have with this is it's not going to be the authentic sniping experience. You're not going to be hiding in a bush for 2 days to line up a shot that you probably miss. Come on, just be realistic with it. But I do like the way the camera changes. I think they've got some really interesting sort of bullet time equivalent stuff going on.
Yeah, and they've got good, basically, their whole thing are 2 things. One's bullet time and one's the bullet mechanics. So it won't be a matter of just, when you shoot someone, it doesn't just shoot someone. The bullet goes like through them and it like ricochets off the bones or whatever, and it might even go into the person next to him and stuff like that. And like one of the, I think it's either this one or the one before, has got a mission on it where you have to shoot them in the balls, and you can obviously see it go into the testicles and stuff.
That is a strange USP, but
you just said that so casually, like, and they've got this ball mission where you shoot them in the balls.
What? That's not in close up going through the testicle.
That's never been a mission that somebody's just a genre of mission.
It's the normal World War II mission, you know.
It's genre defining authentic sniping
if
in the balls.
If you've got a Nazi game, you need to have a mission where you shoot Hitler in the balls.
That's not authentic sniping. Nobody's aiming for the centre of mass.
Hey,
testicles.
Then how did Hitler end up with one testicle?
Right. Okay. I mean, we're going into
also if you've got a heat scope, surely it's one of the warmest parts on the body. So I mean,
there you go. So you see it.
Okay. Okay. Fair play. Right.
Yeah.
So you have to aim for it.
I mean, it's definitely not, but we'll pretend. But no, much like Ben and Samurai, like Nazis, World War II, no interest at all in the setting.
It's really overdone, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, so played out, it's beyond belief.
Yeah,
do you know that Nazi zombie game? That's that there's had like 4 games of.
Wolfenstein.
No, not that. That's also good.
Nazis.
That is a Nazi. It's not being gay.
That's also good. But there's one called like Nazi Zombies or something. Like it's
Great name.
yeah, it's like it's really on the nose. Whatever it
Run
is.
yeah.
I want to play that now. We've talked about Sniper Elite.
There is a mission in that where you shoot Hitler in the balls.
Right.
You don't
don't
know if I'm lying or not, do you?
I mean, it's a mission genre now. It's a mission genre.
I will also end with Jurassic World Evolution 2 has come to Game Pass today, as I mentioned. Also, Vampire Survivors is coming to PC Game Pass on the 19th of May, quite interestingly. I will end with my favourite game of the week has got to be, because of the atmosphere and everything else, is Soda Crisis coming out on PC. Might give that a try.
Who would have thought a game called Soda Crisis?
Yeah, especially when I remember reading, because I quickly read through them all. I read through the blurb, and then I remember like reading that one about the workshop, going, "Oh, that's going to be good." And then I remember reading Sniper Elite 5 and going, "Oh, maybe they'll have like a cool mechanic where you like have a base and stuff." And to come out of all this saying Soda Crisis is by far the best game is weird.
Despite the genre-defining ball sniping.
Yeah.
But I mean, I celebrate you for the choice as well.
Yeah, Ben, you don't congratulate a game for including it. You criticise a game if it doesn't have it.
Oh, you expect it. Okay, I understand. Right, yeah.
It's the biggest problem with 2042. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. Yes. That's why it was slammed. Yeah.
That's why Eddie stopped playing.
You can hijack a plane in midair, but you cannot, under any circumstances, shoot someone in the testicles.
That's waiting for the DLC to come out.
That's where it is. That's where they put it.
The hip testament. But that's them new releases.
Yes, indeed. And I guess we're on to what we've been playing. And it's kind of fitting that we've mentioned a couple of times gaming limbo and sort of not knowing what to do, because that's where I've been this week, guys. I jumped back into Cricket 22 for a bit to try and get into that career mode I mentioned on my review a couple of weeks ago. And it is fun, but in fact, it's definitely an enjoyable career mode, but it has the problem of once you get even slightly bored of this game, it's dead to you. Like a lot of the sports games for me. FIFA you'll play, or I would play religiously for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a bit longer, and then it would just die and be gone.
Yeah, that is sports games, isn't it?
Yeah, and Cricket 22 is no different on that.
I'm going to object here. I mean, I agree with all of the sports games, but I keep on coming back to the golf. I reckon I play only half an hour, but half an hour every day, I reckon. I'll just jump on and I'll play.
That is a very, very good game.
Is that your Rocket League slot there?
It kind of is, yeah. But I still do jump on Rocket League. So, you know what? I'll be honest with you. Like at lunchtime, I'll jump on, I'll play half an hour of golf, and then I'll play like 3 games of Rocket League. It'll be like my nice, relaxing game that I kind of play just to have fun, and then I go, oh, go on then, let's play a bit of competitive stuff. And then jump on Rocket League. So, I recommend that if you can't get into a game of a casual.
I get what you mean about that. I feel that with FIFA though. Like I could play about 4 or 5 games of FIFA, and then that's me, and I'm so bored.
Yeah, and that's it. I did actually go back to this on Sunday and played a game of it. So maybe it is just that kind of game. It's just like pick up, play one game through, and then leave it again. But I thought it was going to hold me more than that when I first started it. And yeah, it is the lie sports games tell me that I will be held, and then I'm just not. So that was disappointing. So I dived back into...
Very quickly,
go on.
You know what it might be? It might be the setting. So when I always try and jump back into FIFA, and I always play career mode because I like the outside of the game. I love it, like the buying of players, keeping good people, getting that youngster in and seeing them develop. But the fact that if I play like 5 games in a row, I go, it's the same pitch that I'm staring at. So probably on your cricket game, I assume it's the same kind of setting. I think maybe with my golf is different because you play, like these 30 different courses.
Yeah,
but maybe that's why.
True.
I think it could be, and I think
up.
Maybe cricket suffers a little bit as well because of its nature as a sport. So you go into the career mode and you obviously want to pick an all-rounder because then you're in more of the game. You bowl and bat, it's going to be better. But the problem is, because you're one of the weaker players at the start, you're coming in lower down the order as a batsman. So in the short format, you might not bat at all. Like in an entire match, you might not bat. That's not ideal. And then bowling, if you have one bad over, you might not bowl again for a while because it does pick that up.
Jesus.
So you can end up, unfortunately, I've turned into a really good bowler, which is annoying because I don't actually like bowling anywhere near as much as batting. So it means I go into a game, and if it's like the T20 short games, it's like, oh yeah, you didn't get needed to bat. And it's like, so now I've just got to bowl instead. Fuck. So it may be the nature of the sport doesn't help this one either. But I thought actually having your own player to develop was going to be really interesting. And so far it is. It's the gameplay that kind of is lacking. Yeah. It doesn't hold you in as much because you don't know what you're going to get to do each time.
Well, you had a good few hours though, didn't you?
Definitely. I've probably got somewhere between 6 and 10 hours out of this. So
lovely.
Nothing wrong there at all. And I probably will dive back in just for a random, I want to go have a hit now and again, you know? So, yeah, there's some things. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, I did dive back into Surviving Mars, which that was a bit accidental. It was just like, oh, there's been a new update. That means there's some interesting stuff in there. I'll dive in, and suddenly you're 150 souls through a playthrough and you've been looking at it for 8 hours. And you're like, oh, God, okay, I'm here again. So that's been the story of my week, really, there. It's just, it got taken over by Surviving Mars.
Right. Yeah. Oh, as a side on the... when we mentioned FIFA, we didn't put it in news or in quick news, but FIFA will no longer be called FIFA.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
We've kind of glossed over that, haven't we? It's
pretty huge news.
EA Sports FC, isn't it?
Yeah, and today, Take-Two, the owners of Rockstar, did something and said how much they admired the FIFA brand or something. So who knows? Who knows? Rockstar or somebody that Take-Two own could be looking into a FIFA game in the near future.
Shall I go next? Because Ben has got a goodie, isn't he? So
yeah, you've got a goodie as well, though. So
I have.
Interested to hear what you think,
yeah, I mean, I've been off for 2 weeks really. I was playing that. Is it called Solar Gen or whatever it's called? Let me minimise all my windows to see what it says on the thing. Solar Gen.
Yes, Solar Gen.
Yeah. I was playing that for a while, but then, like all things, I compared it to RimWorld, which was my biggest mistake. Yeah. So obviously I went and started playing RimWorld. You know what I was thinking is, the problem with every single sort of colony management / city builder is I always compare it to RimWorld. And Ben, this fits very nicely into what you were saying earlier is... Oh, no, sorry. What you were saying in last week's pod, sorry, it's because I was listening to it today, is it's comfortable to play RimWorld. I know exactly what I'm doing. So, I can log in. I know where I am. I know what's going to happen. So, it's very comfortable. So, I think it's going to take, the best game of all time for me to choose that over RimWorld again. I think it's going to have to take a game with easy mechanics that are better on the eyes, that's fun to play, and I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Easy but deep mechanics, which is a really hard balance to strike, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because like every game, if I get round to if I quickly pick it up, then I go, well, that's not deep. Like RimWorld has this and it has that. But if it's too complicated, then it takes me a long time to get there, and then before I know it, my brain's going, you could be playing RimWorld right now.
Well, look at examples. Look at Stellaris. That's incredibly deep, but not easy at all. Not at all. And that doesn't have it. And things like Surviving Mars, it's really easy in theory, but the moment it goes wrong, it can spiral. And it's and it doesn't look this, and you don't get the same sort of up close look as you do in RimWorld. Yeah, which is the difference. So there's always something missing, isn't it?
You need that up close, watching those little animations go. That's what you need.
I'm more meant to see their mood turn.
If only there was a game that you could zoom in and watch someone surf that. Oh, but anyway, the game I've been playing this week is This War of Mine Final Cut. 11-bit Studios developer. It came out, the Final Cut actually came out in May this year, which is crazy. But no, This War of Mine came out in November 2014. It's a game that I think I played the demo of ages ago, but I never got round to buying. For our listeners who've never heard of it, it's like a wartime survival game where you control several civilians. Kind of during wartime, really. It's kind of is it a 2.5D? Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I'd say it's 2.5D.
Yeah,
2D, 2.2D.
Yeah, it's like that side scroll, but then it kind of it doesn't go as quickly in the background, so it kind of looks like 2.5D, if you know what I mean. Yes. But yeah, so the whole game kind of focuses around survival elements. It has base building, it has colony management. Technically, it has crafting, it has trading. So it kind of is my perfect kind of game. It has what they call, and I was going to say it was going to have like dark aesthetics. They call it a charcoal stylized yeah, it looks like that.
Aesthetic.
So, yeah. I know, no, I know the word. I just gave up. So yeah, it looks amazing. It sounds the sound effects, the atmosphere, everything just is really, really well done. Whoever's made this game knows what they're doing. The day and night cycle is brilliant. The daytime you kind of build your own stuff and whatnot, and at nighttime you go out and scavenge, which is a whole nother game in itself, where you kind of try and find things. I am loving it. I knew I would. I remember doing research to this, like fucking 7 years ago. And I remember thinking this is going to be a really cool game. I'm really, really enjoying it because there are moments where I've gotten so close to someone dying, and you just find that perfect ingredient in your scavenging mission, and you just kind of sigh of relief. Here's the thing is, I don't think it's going to keep me because, like, everything that I'm doing now, I feel like that's the rest of the game. And I know this sounds kind of bad, but I don't think that's going to hold me for much longer. Kind of doing the same thing all the time. But having said that, I've already done like 3 playthroughs. I've already like started again because I've gone, I didn't know food was that important, or I didn't know trading that away was a bad idea and stuff like that. So
it does take you a few goes, doesn't it, to know what's important? Because as soon as you don't know what's important, you're dead.
Yeah, food was my first mistake. I was like, it's fine. I'll just trade away this can. Holy shit, that was a mistake. Poor Sarah didn't see that coming.
A quarter of that cat food.
Exactly. So, I highly recommend it. I mean, it won fucking loads of awards, so I'm not alone in thinking this game is very, very good.
Interestingly, this game is on the education syllabus in Poland as on the reading list. So to play the game. So it's actually on the school reading list.
Jeez. Don't go to school in Poland. That's dark.
My experience of this game is it's very hard, isn't it? It's a brutal game.
Yes.
And like you think things are going well, and then they just take a turn, and then somebody just comes in and shanks your guy to death. And then that's the end of it. Yeah, all right, everyone's fucking dead then. Great. During the night he got shanked to death. Brilliant.
It's clearly very challenging, and they've obviously done that on purpose. Like,
it is.
That's kind of fun, really.
It is. Like, I think I was doing really well, and then I kind of made a decision where I was like, okay, this guy's quite sick and weak, but I really need to go out, so we're gonna go out and scavenge anyway. With no defense, nobody. Oh right, somebody broke in, shanked the guy. He's dead. Brilliant. Yeah.
But it makes you make tough decisions as well. Like when someone's really sick and you got your limited food, you go, maybe I'm not going to feed him today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does make you make tough decisions. Really good. Yeah, it's a really interesting game, and it's not. I know it's on Game Pass now. It's also not that expensive on other platforms as well. So, just really, really interesting game.
Yeah. Do you think? Here's a question. Do you think that they made it really hard because the length of what the game is not that long, so they've done it on purpose so that you either fail or you replay?
I think that's a really good point, because your point earlier of saying like this is kind of it. I think that's how I felt as well. And I know you can like upgrade all the stuff in your place and all that kind of shit, but it did have the feeling of this is kind of the game, and it is a survival in this small environment. So I wouldn't be surprised the brutality of it, and it's symbolic, isn't it? Like it's all. I like what it did. I really appreciate what it did as a game.
Yes,
what it went for.
Oh, absolutely! Like the whole aesthetic of it is so well done.
Yeah.
Was it in? I must have been in Game of the Year contender.
I imagine it would have been in certain quarters, yeah. I imagine it would have been. Especially with an original release of November 2014. Like, must have been a prominent indie game back then.
Yes. Oh, God. I'm actually looking it up now. So
yeah, it would have been a top-tier indie game.
I'm actually having a casual look as well. Just to work out. Yeah.
Oh, God. Dragon Age Inquisition got the fucking win. Oh, God.
Oh,
Come on.
poor combat.
It's a okay game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. I might carry on playing it, but I've also bought not Destiny. Fuck me. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Which I've already played and completed a few years back, and I loved it. But I saw. That's right. I wanted Wildlands. Saw that it was really expensive, and obviously I can't get it from my fucking CD. And then I saw Division 2 was on so much sale that it was down to £3, and I was like, "That's an Eddie price to buy twice." So yeah. I've got that, so I'm probably going to dip into that at some point this week.
Lovely. So I've been playing a new game. It's in early access. It's called Achilles Legends Untold. Mm-hmm. And it was in our new releases last week. I think Pete and I, we both liked the look of it, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, so it's an isometric looter action RPG, which is kind of... It's kind of like a cross between Diablo and Dark Souls, definitely Dark Souls, set in classical ancient Greek times at the Sack of Troy. Mm-hmm. So you play Achilles, so like the name would suggest. So yeah, again, early access. I'm actually about halfway through making a video on my first impressions. I hoped to get that up the other day, but didn't quite manage it. So it should be up soon. You get the prologue, which is part of the Sack of Troy, which artistic license is you land on the beach of Troy and then you're sacking it like straight away. So you know the 10-year difference in those two events, it doesn't matter. The game just goes, nah, don't worry about it. So you get that, and then you get the first level as well, first area, and I think there's five. I think there's going to be 5 areas, 5 levels in the full game. But despite that, make no mistake, there's loads of content here. It's really good for the price as well that it came out. It's £13. That's what I paid for it, and that's a good support. I think that's a good price to support the developers and on their year journey to getting this game out. I think I think that's a fair reflection. There should be some updates coming very very quickly, you'd think. So to just go into it, the combat feels very very clunky at first, which to me is a sign of a great game. Because a game like this, which is, if it's a Souls-like game and the combat is clunky, you're like, okay, and then it starts to grow on you, and then it becomes very methodical, and you stop thinking of it as clunky and start thinking of it as like purposeful.
Yes.
And there would be 2 schools on this to say, oh, is it a bit laggy, like input laggy, is it a bit clunky? But I think no, it's more of the methodical side. But it is classic Dark Souls, light and heavy attacks. You've got to dodge as well as a roll. Mm-hmm. But with these games, I think early access, you can only really tell if the combat is that good when you get to the harder bosses and the harder levels, don't you? Like, yeah. Before then, you can't tell as much, but already
you've got to get past the gear checks, haven't you? And just kind of
exactly. But this game's no joke. Like, it is difficult from the outset. It's not hack and slash like that. That initial prologue area, you're basically given Achilles at full tilt. You're given like everything, all the bells and whistles, all the health, everything you can do, all the moves, blah blah blah. But when you get into like level 1. It's no hack and slash. Oh boy. It's as I've said, it's a Souls-like. So you got your bonfires, which are shrines. You respawn there. You level up there. When you die, you can pick up your souls or whatever they're called in this game. Standard type stuff. A little bit of deviation in terms of like you go to a shrine, you have to kill all the enemies in that area to kind of activate that shrine, which is a bit different from Dark Souls, where you're just sprinting towards the nearest bonfire. And it's also got Diablo kind of looter stuff. So it's got like side sellers and stuff where you go down off the beaten track and get items, or you get this chest somewhere. You're like, oh, that's a fucking great new axe or something. Fantastic. So it has got that good feeling to it. And the amount of items in this game that you're picking up, and like Nectar of the Gods and all this kind of stuff, it feels very, very Elden Ring, like in terms of just sheer number of different types of item.
Okay.
It's got your classic like like your souls of varying things which you can consume to get more souls, but it's got so many items that you don't really know what they do, and you're picking up and you're going, okay, this is early access, and there seems to be loads here, and when you're leveling up, like the skill tree, very, very vast, and it's okay, it's basically like, when you're clicking at adding one to health or something in Elden Ring, but it's in this sprawling kind of star constellation. It's very well put together, looks very, very nice. So it has a very good feel to it, and not only that, the music and the music is very good throughout.
Okay.
The graphics are okay. They're pretty decent. So I played it on PC. It's only on PC at the moment. I ran it with the recommended specs. So my graphics card, etc., is just the recommended that they have for this, and it ran okay. Some frame drops in the open world, etc. But when because initially it loads me up in its epic graphics, and then I tailor it back to medium, I didn't really notice any difference. Like it was
okay.
It was weirdly kind of similar throughout, so I don't know. But I thought of you, Pete, when during the prologue you can literally do the Achilles trademark move when he killed Baragrius, and when he tried to do it on Hector. Yeah, you can run and press R2 and he will do that move. Awesome. You're like, wow, that's fucking cool. But you have to earn it during the game, so you don't have it in like the next level and stuff. But I was quietly impressed with this game because it was difficult. Don't get me wrong. Like, and there are hours of content here, and I genuinely think that this could be a little cult game when it comes out in full. And I'd be really interested if it got released on console.
Yeah, that was my thought. Actually, it was console would suit this.
I think it would, because it's hard to get a game like this necessarily off the ground totally just on PC. Yeah,
and I mean, the questions that came to me when we looked at this for last week were things like, what's the enemy variety like? Because
yes.
Were you about to come to this anyway?
Well, when you said that, like, it's a weird one, because when you're playing it, you don't really mind, because they mix it up enough between like the soldiers or the wolves or you've got weird fucking things in the forest, and like they actually vary up quite a bit. These crab things, where the fuck are they coming from? But
I've seen those in the videos.
Yeah, so there is enough, because I was worried at the start, because the prologue and then the first part of like the next the level, they've got skeletons and stuff, which is weird. But then you get out of that, you're kind of in the open land place, and it kind of looks everything looks quite sandy and dusty, as it would. It's Troy. Yeah. So, that area of the world, the Turkey and stuff, it's sandy. So, yeah, I don't know. But then it takes you to like forests, and you do a little bit. There's the underworld type stuff, and then the skeleton, and then you're like, wow, okay, you are varying it quite a bit. So I am hopeful that there is actually quite a bit of variety. But because it's early access, you kind of give it a pass on a lot of this stuff. And I have seen on Steam, like I looked at the comments on Steam, and it's got mixed reviews so far. A lot of people are talking about the combat and stuff. But my view on it is that you don't know how good the combat is until you get more of the game. And secondly, this is a Souls game. And can you imagine going back to like Dark Souls 1? You can imagine people like who are just looking at something early access, because a Souls game, I think you have to invest so much time and like energy into. To have it in early access and just play it a bit, you go like, nah, shit. You know? do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's hard to have a Souls like in early access and to get really positive reviews.
Yes, and this is the thing; it's getting very mixed reviews so far. And I think that is potentially because early access Souls is risky.
Yes,
like heavily risky.
And this combat is definitely more Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, but this is an isometric format, like, viewpoint. So remember, it's got that kind of Diablo viewpoint.
Yeah.
So it is different in that respect. But yeah, I think that may be something, and the combat may not stand the test of time. But at the moment, I think it's quite a good price to support the developers for this game and see where it goes.
Okay. Yeah.
And lastly, what I've been playing, No Man's Sky again.
Nice. We are all in gaming limbo a bit, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so I'm not going to say much on it. I'm just going to say, if you haven't played it in a few years, maybe go back, because I haven't played it in a few years, and I've gone back and it feels fresh, feels structured, feels very, very good. The third-person view, lovely. I'm playing it in handheld as well.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm playing it on Xbox Cloud.
Ben, I've always thought about going back. What's like the noticeable differences?
So for me, because I played originally, the structure from the start is so much better. Yeah. Immediately it thrusts you into not just building a little shack, but now it's like, there's so much potential here. They got the teleporters straight away and stuff. It's just like, okay, you're showing me that there are ways to move around more quickly and to actually enjoy this game, and it seemed more brutal back in the day. Like, the game isn't that brutal now. Like, it actually seems really enjoyable. I could just load it up and that's why I don't mind playing on the One X player, because I'm playing in handheld. You don't have to be that exact with your controls even. It's just, it just seems a lot less brutal than it ever was, and a bit more direction.
The death planets will still get you, but the direction is definitely increased. And the building options are massive now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I haven't got to any of the good stuff, Eddie. Like, all of the... you've probably played way more of the DLCs than I've ever done. So I would like to get involved in, like, the underwater building and stuff like that. Like, kind of Subnautica kind of esque. But
you know what really put me off the game is... And it's the same with all my games. Like, even that Empyrean game, which I swear by, is... When you build your big, like, building and everything, I know that you had your workers, didn't you? Ages ago when I played it, you had your, like...
Yes,
I think there was three of them, where they came and they worked in your base. But they literally just sat behind the fucking counter, and they did nothing. So it all felt dead. Like, my whole place just felt dead, and it felt like when I was going there, it was literally just because I needed to do something. Do you know if there's, like, something there? Like,
I played even before you, Eddie, when it literally was dead. And I was pleasantly surprised on this planet that I'm on. I just, like, was roaming around, and there was this fuck off, like, trade place with, like, building that I climbed the stairs. What that might have been when you were playing anyway, but I was very, like, I could talk to people there, and I didn't have to go into a space station in space to do that. There were just people there that I could talk to, trade with, get some, like, dialect stuff, and the ships are going off, and, like, ships are overhead and all that, just on the planet. I was like, oh, this is so much better than I remember.
Yeah, you can essentially build your own trade port on a planet, apparently. So you'll have trade ships coming to your base and all sorts.
Oh, so that's the kind of thing.
I've been considering dabbling.
The animals actually attacked me now. Like, again, I played No Man's Sky literally at the original point of it coming out. So I was one of those diehards that got a PS4 to play this game, because I was like, fuck it, I don't care what people say. I'm playing this game. And I played a shit ton of it when there was nothing to do.
Yeah, just fly around.
Yeah, and I really loved just flying around.
Did you play when the freighters were involved?
That's a cool mechanic. I played when the freighters were there. That's a really cool mechanic.
Because it's kind of, that's the thing I want to go back and do, is actually take the time to set up a freighter, build it out, build it as a base that flies with you.
I didn't really have any of that. And when I went into space, but I'm not even sure whether there was anybody at the space stations.
Quite possibly. At the beginning, I think it was just the vendors, wasn't it?
Yeah, or like some alien AI that you could... Yeah, it's just the vendor. I don't know. Like, it was so bare bones, but I still just loved the concept of it. I still felt it was incredible. But now it seems like genuinely a good game. And as I said, the animals attack you. Like, that didn't happen originally. Yeah. But now you can't move without something trying to eat you, which is great.
What's the hub place called, Ben? Because that must have been an interesting one for you when you turned up there.
I've only played like a few hours this week, so like I'm yet to do an awful lot. So I'm just still on my planet because there's so much to do there. Now, like because the tutorial element I'm really impressed by because it's very handholdy. Like do this, do that. Oh, now you can make a teleporter. Go get a thing. Yeah. Research this. Like build this stuff. Oh, now you can teleport. Here's your thing. Okay, wonderful. Now set up this. Build this shelter here and stuff. It's just really nice. Like, and then you go exploring a bit. And then you come across something like I just said. Like, I think it's just such a nice casual game because what I've been yearning for is just a casual game.
Yeah, this might be your one, but this might be it. Because if you haven't found the central player hub, that's going to be an interesting one for you as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's so much you could do now. That you could do co-op stuff and there's so much going on, and this is just a completely different game. Like when I was playing, it was first person. I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was only first person back at the start.
Yeah, so it's all I'll say is if you haven't gone back in years, have a go. It's on Game Pass.
I think you've encouraged me to.
I'm still tempted to, anyways. This could end up being a very boring month, guys, where we each talk about No Man's Sky each week.
What's the? I think I've definitely got it on something, so maybe on Xbox. But what is it on Game Pass? It is, isn't it?
It's on Game
PC
Pass,
Game Pass as well. Yeah.
It's on it's on PC Game Pass and it's on console Game Pass.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question to that. Do you know, because it's all about the NPCs. It's all about the DLCs, isn't it? Do they come included, or
yeah,
do they count as
they'll be in it because they're all free updates. They weren't paid for, so they'll all be in there.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell! That sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much is. Well, there we go. What a lovely what we've been playing with is sort of interesting things as much as anything. As
not
opposed
a
to
lot of new releases, not a lot of what we've been playing, but there we go.
Just interesting stuff involved anyway. But that brings us on to the feature, which obviously is a bit of a recap on the Nintendo Indie Showcase last week.
Yes.
Which I'm going to hand over to Ben before I give my opinion just in how I say anything.
Yeah, okay. Well, I am the Nintendo fanboy here,
exactly.
So let's... so just before we start, I did put a video on YouTube straight after the showcase with our top 3 picks. Well, I say my top 3 picks of the showcase, which I thought would do great because it was like relative and it is relevant and it was right after the showcase, but no, I think we just got drowned out by every other video out there. It's weird. We could put like a video about a PlayStation sale up and get 1,000 or 2,000 views or whatever. Then you put this up and you get nothing because nobody sees it. But yeah, go to our YouTube channel. You can see those top 3 picks if you fancy. But yeah, it was interesting start to this event. So the first one we had Ooblets, which is I'll read them out. We had Ooblets, an Animal Crossing type cozy game. We had Batora Lost Haven, which was a fast-paced adventure RPG, and Alekhead, which is made by a one-person studio, a weird kind of shit-looking 2D puzzle platformer, and then into Soundfall, which was a rhythm-based dungeon crawler, which was released on the day of the showcase. Wild Frost, a tactical roguelike deck builder, and totally accurate battle simulator, which looks ridiculous. So, anybody got any thoughts on those as an additional, as an opening to this show? What do you think?
I mean, the initial opening, Ooblets, pretty much said everything about why I don't like Nintendo.
Yeah, very well said. Very well said, sir.
That was one of those where you look at it and you go, this is why parents look at their kids playing games and go, why are you wasting your time with this?
Yeah, that's a good argument. Yeah,
like that was the vibe I got from Ooblets. So obviously highly positive.
Well, I described that as a cozy game, but that wasn't me. That was how they described it.
They
which
literally
I thought,
said that. Yes, yeah.
Crazy cozy game. Is that what we're doing now?
That's what you're doing on a couple of £100 console.
I mean, we've seen the success of Animal Crossing, guys.
It depresses me greatly.
Great game.
Even now.
Great game.
Yeah. But I mean, the funny bit here is, Ben, I saw your notes on this, and the one of these that stood out to me was Alekhead. Like, oddly enough, because I was like, oh yeah, it's like classic Mario's.
No, I was looking at that and I was thinking,
the twist.
I was thinking, why is it here?
Yes,
why has
it was
this
a bit
got a
out of
platform?
place. It was a bit out of place. But
Why has this been given a platform? I mean, I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, why?
Why are you surprised? This is Nintendo. This is the exact game that I expect. I'm surprised there's not more of them.
It had better graphics than most Nintendo games I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely world-beating graphics compared to the average one. I mean, it's just awful.
Yeah.
You're not going to get me. You're not going to get me.
Is that because
so
you're desperately
remember this-
blowing your nose in the background because you suddenly sound a bit less phlegmy?
This is an indie showcase, remember? So this isn't supposed to be a full-blown direct or anything. This is just highlighting a few indies. I still don't get why a Leckhead, made by one person, which looked fine, why that is getting a platform like this. But
That's your grassroots, Ben. That's the grassroots of indie. Either that or he has some very interesting information. My God, he's the intern.
yes,
That guy's the intern. He's
I'm
got
gonna buy
loose
it.
and gone, I've got a game.
I'm actually going to buy it.
He knows some secrets and he's going to release them unless people play and buy a Leckhead for Switch.
That's how he got on the showcase. Lovely. I did think of these, the one that looked probably the best, and it was shadow dropped on the day, was Soundfall.
Yeah, how does it work with because it says like the combat's by the rhythm. That's the only bit I didn't understand that.
Yeah,
this was-
it kind of makes me think that it might not be as good as it looks.
So
when
this
people say that.
this was the thing, is there's only 140 songs. That was where I sort of had a hang on. Because that suggests that they might actually have programmed this to fit with the rhythm of the song in the background. But then you go,
I
if it's
imagine it
only
does,
140 songs, why did you give us the option of choosing? Why didn't you just go with the best ones for the level and make it fucking awesome? Do you know what I mean?
So the thing that kind of gets me with these rhythm ones is, did anyone ever play? Is it called Curse of the Necrodancer?
I never played it. I think I remember this thing.
Sounds like a game I would.
And there was a Zelda one as well, which I couldn't get to grips with it because of the rhythm stuff. But I wonder how it affects this because it's like a shooter, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought it looked good though.
You're wrong, but
Yeah.
Maybe it looked good comparatively, but yeah, there we go.
Good for
yeah,
Switch.
because
Looked good for
didn't
Switch.
it come after that?
Wasn't saying that. Wasn't
I
saying
think
that, Pete.
Oh no, it didn't come after the horrendous.
No,
I think it did come up.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
It was-
I mean anything looks good. That fucking surfing game looks good next to.
Whoa,
fucking...
come on. Electhead looks fantastic in its own way.
Right, okay, let's
It's like
move on.
Spaceman Spiff. Yeah,
The
it's
Wild
a good one.
Frost, though, I thought that looked like a roguelike deck builder, and it's made by Chucklefish, so Chucklefish make good games. So that
I
that
thought
might
it looked
be
quite
alright.
charming as well. I really did.
Cozy, maybe? No.
Cozy, yeah. Some might say, yeah. No, I think it looked pretty good, and I like that you can buy and kind of add to the deck. No, I like games like this.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Didn't look terrible, Wild Frost.
Didn't look
yeah,
terrible. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it.
That battle simulator looks.
Let's
waste
just...
of time.
We don't need to give any time to tabs.
Yeah, so then we had a good game. What I thought was a good game, Gunbrella. So this was the first of the digital for the Devolver Digital games, the published ones that they put forward in the show. I think there was like 3 of them. So it's a 2.5D side-scrolling noir punk action adventure game. I thought the art style looked really good. It's very Devolver Digital. Thought it could be it's a Devolver Digital game. It's bound to be good. That's what I think about them. It's bound to be an 8, 9 or 10 out of 10 kind of game.
I mean,
It's coming in 2023.
Yeah, I do think it's good. I don't know why it needed to be noir punk and not just noir. But otherwise, I have no problem with this game at all.
You've got to have
Because
punk in the
everything
name.
is punk.
I know, but it's just the noir style. But now that's become noir punk. You know?
If you're not punking it, are you really noiring?
Fair.
Anyway, then we had some great games. We Are OFK. Yeah, we'll talk about that one. We had Silt, which looked lovely, hand drawn kind of game, looked like Inside kind of thing. We had Mini Motorways, which is out now.
Yes, it is out now.
And we had Wayward Strand, set in 1970s rural Australia. No.
Okay, so we know your judgment there.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah. Go on, Pete, sorry.
Well, the first thing I was going to say here is We Are AFK is just starting to annoy me. This isn't the first time I've seen something about it, I'm sure. And
Wasn't there another game where it was about a band?
Yeah,
remember
no,
ages ago?
Eddie. This was shown at the Sony.
This is
Sony.
the same.
Oh, is this it? Is this the same one?
This is out on PlayStation. This is it coming to Switch.
Oh,
But it's this
right.
constant.
Yeah, I didn't
like,
care about it then either.
No, but it's this constant thing of like we're a real band. Like they've got one single, I think, and it was released after all the hype for this had started. So I don't really get it, and it just seems really depressing. Like it's a strange one. It's a strange
I don't really get it. It's almost like one of these talking simulator kind of story progressing games, but with this band. And I think at the end of every chapter, you get a new song or something. It's just like I don't really get why it's a thing. It's very very woke, I think.
Yeah,
And I am not.
Well, that's very true.
you are not a woke man, no.
No, but Silt. Did you like the look of Silt? I thought that looked pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I've seen this before, and it's on my wish list on Steam. Actually, it's coming to PC as well.
Oh, lovely.
I think this is going to be a great game.
You know what this is? I'm going to object to that. Don't get me wrong. I love the look of it. I think it's beautiful. But at the end of the day, when I've looked at this in detail, it looks like the game mechanics are no different to Echo the Dolphin. If you remember
Quite
that
possibly,
one.
yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I don't want to compare it to this so soon, but what's that game that you three played last week?
Ori.
And we all thought it looked amazing, and
Trek to
the
Yomi.
gameplay was actually quite crap.
Oh,
yeah.
Trek to Yomi. Yeah.
Trek to Yomi. You pronounced it wrong last
Trek to
week.
Yomi. Like, Trek to Yomi really let the sign down.
And we all said that same about this. It looks amazing. It looks beautiful.
We
Atmospheric,
thought Starfield was letting Game Pass down, but Trek to Yomi.
But
to
the thing, I don't know. The thing is with this one, Eddie, is I suspect it's going to be more on the sort of Ori gameplay style stuff, just a bit slower down, or even Hollow Knight style. So we shall see. The art is Hollow Knight style. I suppose that might be why I'm going that way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's got. Is it? As I said, Inside was what it reminded me about. But well, I hate myself because during this bit with the mini motorways, like that is never anything in a million years that I would want to play. But just because it says out now, I'm like, oh,
I can have something now. It's done.
Maybe old Ben should take a look at mini motorways. You know,
I honestly think you've seen the entire game in that 30-second segment.
But I hate that I'm that guy because all I was thinking in this was just like, give me a shadow drop that I can care about. Come on, just give me a shadow drop. Take my money. But alas, no, I didn't pay for mini motorways. Right, and then we moved on to Cult of the Lamb. We saw that again.
We did.
Which looks fucking brilliant. We'll talk about that in a sec. And Another Crab's Treasure. That was also very good. And then they ended with like a small sizzle reel which showed Card Shark again, which is by Devolver Digital, which is probably going to be quite good. They showed Curse to Golf, which we saw at the Xbox showcase, and I really like that. And also Opus, Echo of Star Song, which is an excellent game, and it's coming to Switch, like really highly reviewed. So
you've skipped over the Gibbon game, though, Ben.
I did skip over the Gibbon game. Yeah. But the reason I skipped over the Gibbon game is because I think it's an hour long.
Yeah, I think it does. It looks like one level of the Lion King game back in the day. That's what I suspect. And
it's probably a nice emotional hour.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
But unless it's 99p. Not really interested. But anyway, Cult of the Lamb, guys, come on.
Yeah,
how do you think that looks?
This is definitely the standout on the show for me. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the thing you say with Devolver games. You know it's going to be good, and I like the gimmicks on this one as well. So
yeah, I know. So what the story is? You play a lamb saved and possessed by a stranger, and to repay your debt to that stranger, you have to create an army of followers for them. Like, and the art style to me looks brilliant. There's combat that looks decent, but it's just like this game has got a bit of hype. It's been at a few presentations now, and I want it.
The art is Nintendo does Hades, isn't it? Like that's the look, and I don't disagree. I do think it looks nice. I think it works really well. And I do like the storyline and the constant satanic imagery in this one.
Yes. It's very Woodland Critters from South Park.
Exactly, yeah. That's precisely what they're channeling.
But it's coming out later in the year, so no shadow drop there. No shadow
Are we talking about Cut of the Lamb?
Yes.
Yeah, Cult of
Don't
the
you
Lamb,
get
yeah.
huge... is it Don't Starve? Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
very
very
much
much so.
Don't you get
Very much so.
huge vibes of that? That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's going to be completely different kind of mechanics, obviously. But yeah, you're right, actually. I didn't think of that. It looks very artistically, looks very similar, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit less sort of like hand-drawn about it, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Don't Starve was very hand-drawn, but yeah.
I can definitely see that resemblance for sure. And then, the pièce de résistance. Another crab's treasure. A Souls-like crab game.
Yeah, with a hermit crab that trades in shells and dies in one hit if you don't.
So you know what this is? It's like Mortal Shell. It's like the game Mortal Shell. Like it's a crab version of Mortal Shell. Like, do you need any more information?
Why are we friends?
I admit
The awkward silence
usually-
is the exact answer I
I'm
was after.
usually one that would ask that question, not the other way around.
But you generally, I assume, find an answer. We're struggling. Anyway. Anyway, no, I did like a few of the things about it. The trading in shells was amusing, and the enemies are using pollution as weapons, like different pollutants in the ocean as weapons. I quite liked as well. But otherwise, not for me.
Shadow drop me. I'm all in. But anyway, that was the direct. Like it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it wasn't supposed they announced it the day before. It's an indie showcase. That's fine. See some indie games. That's fine. The big hitters are going to come next month. However, there are some significant indie games that are missing from an indie showcase.
One in particular, yes.
One in particular, the one that you're looking forward to.
Yeah. And
So Hollow Knight
everywhere.
Silksong.
Silksong,
Hollow Knight
yeah.
Silksong. Yeah, just not being shown anywhere. And for me, the big one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new game, that one wasn't shown as well. And I can only assume that Nintendo are saving it for their main direct.
It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, you hope at this stage. But how long have we been hoping with Silksong?
Well, Hollow Knight, I mean, Hollow Knight, they could have, if they'd shown that a year ago, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Like, where is it? Nothing. Literally nothing.
I know, and yet there's so much art on the Steam page and everywhere else already for this. Like, in-game looking art. Where is this game?
You can only hope it's like Elden Ring, where you don't see anything for years, and then it
boom.
unleashes as the best game ever.
Yes, I take your point. Yeah, fair. I won't dispute it, but yeah, it's definitely up there. But I mean, I think that was it. This was an entire indie showcase that was dominated by what wasn't there, as much as by what was, and
that's fair.
That's kind of annoying in itself. But that may be because I'm literally following Nintendo to find news of Silksong because it's not coming for PC. So, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. So we just wait until the main direct next month. We'll have a better story, I'm sure. Or well, next month, whenever it is. I assume next month. So yeah.
Yeah, this post-February releases hangover is lasting a while, isn't it?
It is.
We need to, and just because we all fitted in 150 hours of Elden Ring doesn't mean we're done. So yeah, next month cannot come soon.
Just got to wait for Starfield, Pete.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not long away now. That's only like 2 or 3 playthroughs of Stellaris before it comes out.
All right,
instead of one.
If you lay it out like that, then that's fine.
Anyway, if anyone wanted to get in touch with us, Ben, how could they do so?
They could email us at podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. They can tweet us at grumpygamerspod. You can go to our YouTube channel for all those videos we talked about, and also because we have the live episode with Offshore Gamescast this weekend. So again, follow us on Twitter for details on that, or go to our YouTube channel, which is Grumpy Gamers Podcast, and subscribe and get the notifications. Then you'll see when we go live. We think it's Sunday. We think it's about 1 o'clock, but times are subject to change and all that jazz. And we're
Nothing is
also
certain.
also we're on Twitch, Grumpy Gamers Podcast, all one word, which is now more prominent because we are streaming every Thursday at 7 p.m. And this Thursday, as we mentioned at the start, there's the community Rocket League night. If you want to be involved, which would be cool, we'd love that. Just DM us on Twitter or tweet us or whatever. Get in touch, or just join to watch maybe on Twitch.
Yes, indeed.
And it'll be fun. So Eddie, Pete, and Kirk will be playing Rocket League with some peeps.
I love that Kirk skipped the podcast just so he could be free for Rocket League. That's what I like.
He's actually training because he doesn't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
He's just
He's training with
non-stop
how to
training.
deal with more chat while playing as well.
Nice.
But, well, for the next 2 days of this week, it's GG.
GG.
GG.